Before I get into the main portion of this rant, I just want to say this is not a hate video towards Zion Williamson. If anything, I'm a very, very huge Zion supporter. I've watched him since fifth grade, since his sophomore year of high school. And to see him progress from Spartingsburg to Duke all the way to where he is now is very, very cool. But with that being said, I'm not disappointed in Zion for the scoring output that he has produced over the last 5 seasons for the New Orleans Pelicans. I think it is one of the points, but it's not the major reason that I'm disappointed. Neither am I mad at the New Orleans Pelicans management for telling him to get his shit together and his diet and his regimen and his workout routine together. The reason why I'm disappointed in Zion is because number one, his dieting and his workout regimen is shit, for one, and for two, they literally back him up with probably some of the worst supporting casts in the entire league. Like, the bench depth is pretty much non-existent from what I see. But beyond that, this hurts from a general perspective of legacy, you know? Think about this. And I'm gonna put this as thought in your head. If you were around watching high school basketball from 2016 to 2017 all the way up to 2018 and has seen Zion's progression, you would most likely see Zion Williamson. He was all over YouTube, all over Instagram, over social media. He was everywhere. He was big back around like 2016, 2017. And the main comparison to him was LeBron. So you come into the league, he comes in the league, and what do you expect of him? He's going to put up Herculean efforts. He's going to use his strength. He's going to be, and you expect him to be what player? LeBron. And what do you get? You get 22 points per game. 22 points per game. 26. He might come out with 27, but he gets injured, plays 25 games. And I'm not putting as much blame on Zion as I'm blaming the fans, because when you have a young kid like that coming out of high school being a 5-star recruit and you have high expectations, and when that player doesn't meet your expectations, then you want to blame it on he's not performing as much. So some of the blame goes to the fans for putting all these expectations on him from day one. But the thing about Zion is that just when he gets on the court, he looks sloppy, he looks tired, he looks timid, he looks slow, and we all know that Zion can do better. We all know that Zion can do better than the efforts that he's give for the past 5 years playing for New Orleans. 24-7-4 averages that he's averaged for the past 5 years at this point is underwhelming and disappointing. And the New Orleans Pelicans have some guard and forward play, some depth that can potentially take the pressure off Zion, and we can have an elite backcourt off of, right? A stellar defensive-minded back and front court off of. Just not even just off of Jordan Hawkins and Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, but off of Dyson Daniels and Jackson Hayes, which is a stupid decision to trade them because both of these guys are defensive-minded players. And it's a shame because Washington is making some good moves with Alex Sarr and Bub Carrington and Keshawn George, and now this. They added another defensive-minded guard to the roster, which will propel them to a better seed in the Eastern Conference. It wouldn't be so difficult as well to pair him up alongside not only Zion, not only Trey Murphy, not only Herb Jones, not only Jose Alvarado, but Jordan Hawkins, which, in my opinion, is probably one of the best players to come out of the 2023 draft. He can score on all three levels, can shoot the free ball at an efficient clip. Except for his latter half of the season, he might be one of the most sought-after prospects of the 2023 draft and might potentially be the steal of the 2023 draft class. So it wouldn't be so hard for Season McCollum to mentor Dyson and Hawkins while coming off the bench. Also, to the fact, if Jackson Hayes was still around, he would be easily be mentored by Steven Adams, which I believe that the Pelicans shouldn't have traded if they want to get some mentorship at the center position. Hell, you can even trade Daniel Diaz and potentially another player and a couple first round draft picks for Al Horford. Al Horford can mentor Jackson Hayes, for crying out loud. He can help him work on his mid range shot. I mean, come on. I mean, I think the potential of it is sort of insane that they're not developing these young guys and saying, and having the New Orleans front office say, okay, let's have all these we have a group of young guys, we have a young core here, they're all under the age of 25, they're not even in their primes yet. Let's build up this culture and build this team chemistry and build this connection alongside these players. Instead of giving us sort of crap, just bottom of the barrel, no name players that are just meant to just fill up the roster. Like, there's no other rhyme or reason for it. It's really some of the. It's just bad. It's just bland as bad. There's no real effort or thought put into it. And so I really wish they would have reconsidered, like, think twice about trading young prospects that can easily lead you to a title. Like, if the organization and the entire organization in the front office is like, okay, if this is affirmed to be our future shooting guard, like our shooting guard of the future, why not just let Hawkins play in the G League for a little bit longer? Let CJ McConnell start at least 15 games. Then when he comes back, he can start in the starting lineup after a few games, and then let Caesar mentor him into a perennial All-Star 10 years from now. Or not even just the fact that it's not even the extent, it extends beyond Jordan Hawkins. It doesn't even have to focus on Jordan Hawkins at all. Dyson Daniels can come off the bench as a good six-man, average about 15, a block and a steal, 6 or 7 rebounds, at least 5, probably 5 assists. Jackson Hayes can be a strong starting center, probably give you 15 points, 15 rebounds, and probably 2 or 3 blocks. And if they develop well and you want to trade them for a better player, throw them in a trade deal with some other team with a few first round draft picks, future first and future second round draft picks to get a top 15 center, or possibly like a top 15 center or shooting guard. And then if you have a cap space, get some missing piece in free agency. Hypothetical, right? The fact that you have all these pieces, you had at one point all these pieces to propel you to a title, not just in the NBA and not just in free agency in the G League, but within the New Orleans Pelicans roster itself. They have pieces to propel you to a future title. And Zion needs to be that glue, man. I just don't get why everything has to be when NBA players get money, they say, well, I made it. I made a lot of money, so let's just spend it on material shit. Ha ha ha. Joke's a joke. Like, come on. Come on. Like, that's dumb. That's so dumbed down to the point that, no way, it's the same thing I think about. It's the same thing I think about Kwame Brown. It's the same thing I think about Anthony Bennett. Not just for the fact that let's get it here straight. Williamson is more of a successful player than Kwame Brown and Anthony Bennett will ever be combined. It just comes with work ethic. It's just laziness. It's just dumbed down because you can, because you got money, because you have the money, so you just do it. You do the least possible thing and probably the most selfish thing for your own good, which is never to think about something that's going to be successful in the long run. You just give the bare bones level to it. And now to an extent that's always going to be around. That's what sucks about the NBA now. That's what sucks about the New Orleans Pelicans, man. The fact that it could be so much better. The potential is there. It's Mount Zion. We know Mount Zion. We're not stupid. So there can easily be a work ethic similar to LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant that can achieve success similar to Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, or even John Havlicek or Robert Horry that he could potentially dive into, but he doesn't. He just goes ahead and just invests his money in shit. But he doesn't care because he already made it, and his parents are probably like, oh, well, my son's a grown man, so I don't gotta pay attention to what he does, not knowing being completely unaware of the fact that he is just as brainless as 90%, 97% of the fucking league. And yeah, it's just very disappointing. Because there's no winner mentality. There's just no winner mentality.